Thank you very much for staying with us here on TV XYZ and also Radio XYZ 93.1. This is the Money and Investment Series here on the Morning Express. I am Prince Minka, and our guest is the CEO of UBA Ghana Limited, Madam Abiola Bawuah. She's been, of course, really taking us through an insightful journey as far as creating and growing wealth and integrity is concerned. Some of your messages are in. She's already shared with us some great ingredients that we need in as much as we go on that journey. Let me quickly go to your messages. Some of them are in the form of questions, and we'll put those questions to our guests here in the studio. Let me go to the first one. Titus is sending us a message. He says, I have not regretted being a listener of Radio XYZ. In fact, Mrs. Abiola's intro alone connects exactly with previous days presentations that we've heard so far, and that's from Titus, about listening to us. Okay, also known as Tito. Tito, thank you very much. This one here says, thanks, Mrs. Abiola. You've confirmed and encouraged me more that I don't need big money and loan to start a business. And that's from Bibi, listening to us in Accra. This one here says, please, I want to know the investment I can do that will help me get married in the next 4 years. That's from Daniel, who's listening to us in Taifa. And another one here says, indeed, who does not know, knoweth by learning. And you go on asking some questions there. I'll quickly bring in those questions. But let me have Madam Abiola address some concerns that have come in. There's a message from Ajay, who's listening to us on the Spintex Road. And Ajay wants to know, in starting up your own business, should you start with the mindset of making money? Because you would have invested in the business. Probably you would have borrowed from a friend, or maybe you would have someone who is being friendly with you and in fact giving you money to start up the business. So should money be the priority, or we should go by the principles that she's been espousing on your show? Prince, ask her this question and I need an answer urgently. So that's one of our texters there.
Who also asked a question earlier. Which was about what that person should do.
Exactly.
The question is, what is your passion? What is your passion? If you have your passion, you easily get it right when you're on the road to making wealth. You need to feel very, very successful. Remember, we are talking about wealth. We are not talking about cash. We are talking about wealth. So if you are looking at doing what you are excited about, what causes you to wake up and you want to run and do it, those are the things that he must do. Now let's go back to the man on the spin test.
Yes.
I think I did mention very well that money should not be your focus, because if money is your focus, those ingredients that we did mention, you won't be able to get.
He says he borrowed.
No, before we even get there, he was talking about, should money be the ultimate?
Exactly.
And I'm saying that if money is the ultimate, when you embark on that journey and something is not working right, one, you won't be able to believe in yourself any longer. You'll be discouraged. You will want to go away. You will not feel successful. So even if the money start coming, you are not wealthy. You are not happy. But if money is not your focus should be value. How do I help the people in this community? We just said that one of the richest men in Ghana today was clearing rubbish.
Yes. One
day I asked him, Director, why did you embark on this? He said, well, he was thinking about it. He looked at the environment and he realized we didn't know how to manage waste. Today, if you say name any 3 richest people in Ghana, I'm sure they'll mention him.
Absolutely.
Did he start with money in mind? No. He started with value. And he's passionate about it. I don't know whether you've interviewed him. You will see the passion with which he talks. And so because of that passion, ideas are generated. He's adding on to it. Today, it's not just picking rubbish. He's processing the rubbish. Today, he's saying, look, you don't need fertilizer. I can even use part of this rubbish to give to Ministry of Agric to start turning our agricultural lands.
Exactly.
So is that not passion? So very soon, we will not be importing fertilizer. So you know what will happen? More money. So passion, I think, is what you need. Once you get your passion right, then you can think about, how do I start? I'm not sure of how good his relative is. I'm not sure how his account is. So I'm going to pick my words very carefully. But I'm saying that once your passion is good, If it is my salary I need, do you get it? I will start. If I want to start picking rubbish in my area and turning it into something, I may not need a bank. I may just need another friend. And remember, when you have passion and you have that positive energy, it is very contagious. It affects people around you.
Yes.
So when you walk into even your relatives' house and say, look, uncle, I believe I can do this. And if I set up this, I can get it. Or if I get this money, I can. I remember I was in the university. I just bought a small machine to do pure water. I can tell you how much I made out of it. Huge amount. So you need to have that passion.
How much?
And that was from my salary.
I'm tempted to ask how much.
It wasn't from a bank.
Yes.
It wasn't from a relative.
Okay.
It was from my job money.
So would it be a mistake to borrow to start a business?
It is not. But it is when you see, in borrowing, for you to remain wealthy, it is not about borrowing. Let's take a typical example of Ghana. Interest rate today is in the ranges of 30, 35. Is your margin up to that? So it will be suicidal for you to be doing a good business, making 40% profit. You pay yourself, you pay your light, you pay your workers, you are left with 20, and you go and borrow at 30%. Over time, the wealth will vanish. But if you have opportunity to borrow money from outside at 5%, why not? Today, FX interest in Ghana is between 10 and maybe 12. If you are making a margin of 40 and your income, your inflow is in FX, you can go for it. There's no problem with that. If I'm making 100% margin and my cost of funds is 30, and I'm able to still pay all my workers, my overheads, and at the end of all these costs, I'm still able to save 20% to grow my existing business, why not? So I'm saying that you don't go and take something that will swallow you. Do you get it?
Exactly.
But start. Respect that humble beginning and say that, look, let me even start with my little savings. And that's why, for me, anybody in this part of our continent, the first capital you should start thinking about is savings.
Okay, so what would be the antidote to this gentleman who's already in a different reality? As despite the principles that you're espousing, his reality is that he's borrowed already, and so in as much as you're saying that, look, money should not be the key thing on your mind, what should he do? Because he's again looking at his ability to be able to deliver and be able to maybe pay up the loan.
Exactly.
Yes.
So now he needs to be very consistent. He has taken the money already. I believe he did his mathematics. I'm not against borrowing, please. I'm saying that most of the time people we don't do our homework very well.
Absolutely.
And then we overtake something that will crash us. But if he's already taking the loan, perfect, good. But he needs to stay within that course. He needs to make sure it works. He needs to believe in what he's doing. He should not take the money to bring in raw material and the next time he's buying a Benz for himself because he's the MD.
Yes.
That will not be consistency.
Yes.
You get it?
Exactly.
So he needs to stay on course and make sure that he spends extra hours to generate enough to pay off his loan so that his bankers can believe in him.
Okay.
The more he pays down the loan, the more the banks are ready to partner him for bigger venture. So he needs to stay on that course.
Okay, let me bring in more messages as they come in. Surely phone lines will be activated. You can write these numbers down and then you can join us anytime the phone lines are activated here on the Money and Investment series on TVXYZ and also on Radio XYZ 93.1. The numbers are 050 000 0093 and also 050 000094. The WhatsApp line is also 050 000039. You can join us and then we can connect with you. There's a message here that says, indeed, who does not know knoweth by learning. I think I've read this message already. This one here says, good morning, Prince. Mrs. Abiola is educating us a lot. It's very true. You have to put a lot of priority on the people more than just the money. Thanks to her, and Radio XYZ. That's from Steve, listening to us in Wisconsin. And that message just dropped on our other console. And it says, Prince, I want your guests to be able to deal with this one for me. I have a friend who is still in school. Her focus is on becoming a business. Building a business. I guess that's what you're pointing out to. You said the person wants to set up a business. The person is still in first year in the university. She's actually doing a course that is likely to drift her away from this desire of hers. Mrs. Abiola is asking that we should be focused in as much as we want to create wealth. Would you say such a person has lost focus at all? That's a question that this texter is asking.
It's one thing to have education. Every course you do is very important. By God's grace, I'm the managing director for UBA Ghana, but I didn't do banking. I read actuarial science.
Mm-hmm.
So ordinarily, people will expect me to be in insurance, back office, maybe in a statistical firm.
Yes.
So I don't think the course you read
necessarily
determines who you become.
Mm-hmm.
What for me matters is the passion. And I keep saying it's passion. If our friend is in the university reading zoology, it doesn't matter. Biology, it doesn't matter. She can even improve herself. It doesn't matter. What will matter to me is, does she want to do business? Good dream, big dream. How does she translate it from dream to that business?
Yes.
That is where the wealth starts. As to what you do to start a journey, it's not really, it's good, but it doesn't define you in any way.
Okay. So you have a dream. How do you make it a reality? I mean, just as you mentioned,
yes.
What's that journey that and process you need to go through?
If you have a dream, to translate it from dream to reality, it needs hard work, belief, commitment.
Hard work, belief, commitment.
Yes.
Those are the essential ingredients you need for that beautiful soup.
So you can't say, I want to become a businesswoman, and you are sitting at home.
Yeah.
You can't talk up. Then you are not working hard. You can't also say that, oh, I want to become a businesswoman, and then you have the means to do it. You put it on the market and you sit home. You don't apply yourself to it. It doesn't happen. So all these three is very key. If you can't, you need a lot of sweat. It's a lot of hard work and it's a lot of determination that I'm going to make it. You must commit yourself to it. It's very, very critical.
Okay. More of your messages. Let me quickly switch to the WhatsApp console. This one here says, my name is Apia, JB Collection. There's a strong will in everyone to succeed. Without determination, it might fade away. But how do you keep the fire burning? How do you ensure that your determination never fades at all? And you go on to say that Mrs. Abiola is your secret mentor. Another one here says, it seems the successful entrepreneurs have two principles on how to make wealth, which is God and investment. I wouldn't know how investment play a key role in our lives if I hadn't been listening to this program on XYZ, because I usually see investment as just a mere saving with no much value. Thanks for bringing this to light and educating us on this. Let's stay a little while longer on this point. Winzy is making. Winzy sending us a message from Adregano about investment and the misconception and perceptions about it. Is there a cast in stone principle about investment and what it should be?
When we even talk about investment here, I'm not talking about in creating wealth. When you talk about investment, it's not about going to open.
I may have to interrupt you. We've got our first caller on the line.
Okay.
Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, Enyunam from Tema. How are you doing?
I'm very good, and you?
Great. Let's hear you, Enyunam.
I'm just grateful listening to you this morning. And my question is, I own a drink depot, and getting access to get a loan to buy a car, vehicle for distribution has been so difficult, and I don't know how to go about it. I'll be grateful if you can help me.
Okay. I'm tempted to say she will say come to UB. But I mean, of course, that's a
I believe
practical
Enyonam has
experience there.
bankers,
Yes.
and I want to know how she involved her bankers when she started a business. Because one thing to do is that, we said, Enyonam, if you remember, we said it's a journey. So when you embarked on this thing, you might have carried your bank along.
Okay.
And one way of doing that is to make sure that you run your account very well.
Very well.
And so if she's running her account and the bank is very conversant with what she's doing, I don't think that should be a problem.
Let me bring in Cynthia, who's calling us from Medina. She's our second caller on the show. Good morning to you, Cynthia. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Yes, good to have you, Cynthia. If you could turn down the volume on your radio set to avoid the feedback we're getting. It's off. Great. You're on air, Cynthia.
Yes, yes.
Go ahead, Cynthia. You're on air.
Okay, my question is, I have a passion for creativity. But the issue is, maybe I've seen something, I need to do it on my own. But I don't have the items, like the ingredients. For instance, like I want to do this t-shirt. I can see someone wearing necklace. I have the passion for it. Maybe I can do it in a different way. But how do I do it? You are talking of savings. Maybe if I say thank you, at the end of the month,
Cynthia, do me a favor. Can you hear me, Cynthia? Do me this favor. We're getting some feedback from your end. I don't know where it's coming from, but if you could call me back, I'll be glad to hear you. But let's quickly go back to the earlier concern that Cynthia was raising about, creativity. I got a bit of what she was trying to suggest, but if I'm getting her right, it looks like she wants to know what it takes to be creative, what it takes to be different and stand tall amongst many other businesses that may be doing the same thing, and perhaps you want to come across as the unique one amongst all of them.
I think there are two things she's talking about. One is how to be creative. I seriously believe that we all have one skill or the other. Even people without limbs have skills. I've seen somebody with that hand using her leg to draw. I've seen a lot of people, we all have it. Cynthia needs to find out what her skills are. What does she do? It's very critical for us to know who you are. Find out who you are. And then when you are able to define who you are, what interests you the most, then you create your passion around it. Then you begin to see that, if you ask me to sit in a studio there, I'm not going to do it because that's not no matter how much it will bring me,
exactly,
because it's not my passion.
Yes.
You get it? So she needs to find out who she is. She needs to find out what interests her. Maybe that may be it. I seriously believe that we all have different talent. Some love to talk, some wants to read, some wants to sing. You get it? So she should find out what that thing is and then build her interest. Then she'll begin to see that is where her passion is.
Okay, so in relating it to a business that has to stand tall, what would it be?
Then the desire to be extra different, to be bold, to be different from how people are doing it.
Okay.
So if you are talking about, for example, doing business, what does she want to do? How does she take it from where it is now to the next level?
To the next level. Let me bring in Oscar. Oscar is calling us from Medina. Oscar, how is Medina this morning?
Medina is cool.
Awesome.
As well.
Great. Oscar, you're on air. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. The woman is saying if you want to do a business, it depends on your passion and determine. But your determine is not enough to reach there. How am I going to do? How am I going to go about it?
Okay, that your determination is not enough. How do you do it? Okay. That's your question. Thank you, Oscar, for that question. Oscar from Medina.
I think we mentioned 8 things. We didn't say as soon as you get determination, then you become rich.
Firing.
That's not what we said. We are saying that it's a long journey,
yes,
from point A to point B, and on that narrow stretch, there's a lot of crucibles. There's a lot of things that may discourage us. Sometimes it will fail. Sometimes people won't buy your goods. Sometimes you travel, customs will arrest sometimes you produce water and nobody's buying because it's rainy season. Sometimes policy will come in and erode part of your profit. So there are a lot of things on that journey. And I'm saying that determination along that journey from point A to point Z is what will help you to sustain and not derail from that journey. That is where the determination is. In terms of your passion, I'm saying that is something that is contagious. It helps your bankers to believe in you. It helps your family to believe in you. It helps your suppliers to believe in you. I know of customers that their suppliers will look at them and say, we love the way you do business. You don't need to establish LC. We'll give you the goods, sell it later. If your energy level is low, your passion is low, nobody's going to do that. We have people today who borrow from banks without any collateral. You know why? Because the banks believe in them. Because they got the integrity factor right. They got the passion right. If you come to me today and I tell you XYZ, I say, you want me to come to and say, I don't even think it's a proper. Do you think I'll be here?
Absolutely
no.
Not.
But the passion with which your executive director followed up, the lady was virtually calling me every time. Sort of say, who are these people? Let me even find out. So please let him know that determination is just one of what you need and not what you need.
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
More questions for you, Madam Abiola. This one here says, my name is David Ajay in KNUST. Good morning to you, listening to the program. Please, in wealth creation, do you need to actually focus on integrity? Sometimes in business, good people do bad things in order to be able to make up for the bad people. Okay, I think you're saying that people do bad things in order to be able to make up for the bad that many might have done to them in the past. But my question is, as a beginner in investment, which of the commercial banks would you advise me to buy shares from? That's a question he's putting to you, David Ajay, asking that question from KNUST. He says in climbing the top, sometimes people do bad. So
if you want to have a lasting wealth,
yes,
you must keep your integrity intact. And the integrity intact here means that path, you meet your bankers. A lady just told us that she's been trying to buy a vehicle. Yes. One of the things the bank will look at is how much of integrity you have. When you tell them it is A, do they meet an A? It's very key. Your suppliers, if they give you 30 days, within 30 days, do you switch off your phone? You get it?
Yes.
So you need to make sure that it's so key, it's not funny. It's like preparing stew without fire. You need that integrity. Every other thing can be played down, but integrity is very, very critical.
Okay.
I have seen people enter business with 10 fingers, and today they are very, very wealthy because they kept that part of the business.
Has anyone been successful by cutting corners and trying to be able to push others on the side?
I think it will just be that is just a destination. You will make the money, but I'm here to see a lasting wealth.
It doesn't last.
It doesn't. You can't sustain it because over time your bankers will see that this guy, he plays prongs. You don't want to deal with him. Your suppliers will see, your customers will see through it that sometimes you manufacture water, you put something inside. Nobody's going to deal with you. So even though you might hit it at a point, if you talk about wealth is lasting. It's a journey. That's why I keep trying to make the difference between making money and being wealthy. Yes, please.
Absolutely. Let me bring in Neil Armstrong Motagbe, programs director here at XYZ Broadcasting Limited. And I see, as for Neil, when he enters and he's got that big notepad, you know that he's put down some key points. Neil, indeed you were right. This obviously was built to be fiery.
I told you it was a fire situation.
Absolutely. Well, thank God the fire service. We don't need them yet, though.
No, we don't need the fire service. But if you've known Abiola the way some of us have known her friendship, professional practice over the years, you can't meet her without catching some fire. And the studio at least is still intact. But the fire of experience, the fire of knowledge, the fire of insights and perspectives that she has shared, I'm sure, is burning the minds of the people. I was listening to some of the questions. You can see people are questioning.
Yes.
Yeah, you see, we keep pushing the integrity thing because You stand before some young people and ask them, out of 5 words, which one means the most to you? If you put integrity there, they will choose money over integrity. Every time it's like a test. But that's why for us at XYZ, integrity is cardinal. And she's nailed it this morning again. And so, like I said earlier on, it wasn't flesh and blood that revealed to you to use the word fire. Fired up. We are fired up.
Absolutely.
We are fired up. For me, one of the big points I picked is that creating and growing wealth is a long journey. It's not a destination. So it's a continuum. It's a continuum that you catch your 10 years and maybe a few more and leave for others to continue. And that is wealth. We talk about companies that have been established so many years ago and the names remain. The people go. The names remain. The value remains. You said creating value is the key. It's the key.
Look at
to
Disney.
Wealth. Disney,
Yes,
Leavers,
Disney,
or the Unilevers.
Exactly.
How many years ago?
Yeah.
Henry Ford. How many years ago? But they remain. And that for me is the thing. It's a long journey. And it's a legacy you
Those are
bequeath.
wealth.
Yeah.
And you know, it brings to mind something that Ato Sapon shared with us some time ago about building a name and how that can go a long way to even influence how generations unborn will be affected positively by it. I mean, how do you build that name? You know, you talk about integrity, but what does it take to build that name that would positively affect, you know, generations after you?
You live it, you breathe it, you smell it, you don't negotiate on it. I mean, it's not something, if I build a business today and my son does not live according to that principle, he's out. He's not going to come from school and come and inherit as the managing director. No. He needs to start from where everybody starts from.
Wow.
And live on that. Most of the mistake why businesses don't continue in this part of our world is that we start a good business, we are doing very well. My son finishes school day one. Right from day one, he's the managing director. He sits on everybody. He has no clue how to build his character. He's going to fail. Immediately you leave, he will sell it. So it is not, I see so many people make that mistake. They build empires and take their son to a Harvard. As soon as he comes from the Harvard, he's the managing director. No. That's wrong. He should start from beginning.
From the bottom
start
up.
From the desktop.
Right.
You start from there, you become the sales officer. And if you look at most of our Lebanese brothers, that's why their companies, most of them are in the 3rd and the 4th generation. And I've done a lot of research into talking to them. And you see that that's how they do it. Whilst the son is in secondary school, he's outside there in the account department, writing receipt. By the time he enters into university, he's become the sales manager, taking stocks. By the time he done this, so they move through that
The ranks.
and moves up.
Interesting. More messages and they keep coming in. I'm told we've got a few minutes to wrap up, but this message also coming in. It says, please, what happens to a person with positive attitude without integrity? And that's from Samuel Somia Asanteri Afe, listening to us in Bawuah C Control. So what happens to a person with a positive attitude and he hasn't got integrity?
I thought they are
I'm just wondering. I thought that they're interwoven.
Positive attitude.
To my mind,
The
positive
person-
attitude. The underpinning of a positive attitude is a person of integrity.
Maybe he's talking about someone who has energy. I mean, you see the person that all the time he's saying the right things.
But the moment you
but
qualify
you
it
can question
sorry,
the person's
moment
character.
You qualify it as
Positive.
then you are bringing in the undertones or underpinnings of integrity. That's how I would understand
Okay,
it.
maybe
If there
you
are
have-
other things he's talking about, then the person become a very dangerous species to himself and to the company he's working with.
Wow.
Because there are people who actually, maybe when he talks about positive attitude, maybe he's talking about energy. He's talking about intelligence.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of youth today. And you see that they will destroy themselves. The first thing on their mind is how to quickly make money. So the person is employed, he's not even thinking about how do I learn from the job. The next thing he's heard that these people, they give cars. The person is just putting money. I always tell people, I don't know what other MDs are taking. I don't want to know.
You're not interested.
Because I need to get a certain result. Until I get that result, I'm not going to look here. And that's where the focus comes in. You need to focus on your goal. So if you start looking at money, you start looking at who are they paying better? How much is this MD taking? Where are they having lunch? Who are these? So if you start doing that, God intentionally put our eyes in front. He could have put one here and one at the back and one at the side, but he stationed the two in front. So you need to be forward looking. That's it. So I want to plead with him that there is nothing like positive attitude without integrity. If you may have one or two attitude you think is correct, please add integrity.
Interesting. Neil, we're wrapping up. So we obviously would have to be getting into our closing remarks.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've said, for me, like I said yesterday, I would always pick one or two key things. And I've spoken about, for me, it's a long journey. Talked about passion, talk about determination. And lastly, that you just talked about, focus on your goal. And don't look to the left or right. Unwavering. Your eyes set as a flint on your goal. Okay, she talked about knowing yourself, identifying your passions, the thing that drive. Once you're on that path, no matter what happens, whether it's your self-inflicted or it's inflicted from wherever, you remain focused, you will pick yourself up again and move on. So guys out there, listeners, focus on your goal.
That's a secret I want to share. I told her while we were on a break that my first salary, I got it from UBA. Yeah.
Hey,
Wise people bank with UBA.
Did you hear that?
Wise people bank with UBA. This one, they are taken.
So people who don't have UBA, ask them what they are.
But your closing remarks now as we wrap up.
Yes, I think that we are blessed in Africa. We are blessed, indeed, very, very blessed in Ghana. And there's a lot of opportunity for all of us to be very wealthy. All I want to say or to encourage, especially my younger brothers and sisters out there, is that please keep focus, keep the passion going, dream very big, but above all, 100% integrity.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Abiola Bawuah, for being our guest here on the Money and Investment series here on TVXYZ and also on Radio XYZ 93.1. And Neil, with that infectious smile, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, let me just remind you that, of course, tomorrow, same time here on TVXYZ, you can also get to be a part of another interesting conversation. Mr. Charles Mensah, he's managing partner for Trust Consult. He's going to be on the Money and Investment series here on TVXYZ and also live on the Morning Express on Radio XYZ 93.1. And remember, throughout the month of October, we are looking at 24 speakers live on Radio XYZ 93.1, live on your screens, TVXYZ, and also live online, myxyzonline.com. Let me also remind you that the 2017 Money and Investment Summit or the Money and Investment series is proudly supported by African Life Assurance, SASO, Kumtuntum Prekon, and also VMAC. Feel confident, bring out the best beauty. The 2017 Money and Investment Summit, creating and growing wealth in integrity. And certainly that's it there for you. This is the Morning Express here on Radio XYZ 93.1.